All right, so we've got new QB wide receiver duo rankings. Let's check them out, Damon Dog. It's nice to see CBS Sports get it together after their egregious QB rankings last offseason. CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs were, I think, rightfully so, atop the rankings, followed swiftly by Sweet Baby Marv and Kyler Murray, number 2 for our audio-only listeners. Kirk Cousins, Drake London, Kirk with his one leg fighting off Michael Penix. Then there's a steep drop-off, in my opinion. J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, I'm not buying, at least this year. Keon Coleman as your number 1 wide receiver, your season's a disaster. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. And then we're getting into rookies. I see Will Levis on this list. That's gross. Ladd McConkey with Justin Herbert. I feel bad for him. And then George Pickens and Russell Wilson, which is probably one of the grossest veteran to veteran combinations in the NFL. Like, I think you could circle in the first 3 because Cousins is proven he elevates receivers. Then it's a drop off a cliff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know how Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin got ahead of Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. Is it just because Scary Terry's more established?
I had Terry on my fantasy team last year. He was just okay.
Yeah,
he was just okay.
There's I don't know. I just don't think that Diggs is gonna be the star that he was in his prime. I think that those days of Stephon Diggs are over. I think that all the parts in Houston are going to be huge, like between CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. That's going to be an elite offense, but I don't think it's going to be a better duo. I don't think Stephon Diggs, CJ Stroud is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray.
You need young legs to play receiver at a high level, or you got to be in your mid to late 20s. Like, there are not many guys outside of the Larry Fitzgerald, the Jerry Rices of the world. Like, you get it. Like, Stephon Diggs is 30 years old now, and he played a lot of time at Maryland, and this is his 3rd team. Like, that doesn't scream success to me. What screams success to me is Kyler Murray in a good offense with good pass protection, with competent coaching finally, and a generational receiving prospect similar to Jamar Chase and AJ Green. Like, that tracks, right? We've seen that recently. Kirk Cousins with Drake London. Drake London's in his 3rd year. He's an ascending player. Cousins is a pocket passer. He's going to force feed him the football. Like, that tracks. Everything. Like, Will Levis may not be the starter by midseason. Get that out of here.
Yeah. Will Levis and Calvin Ridley, when there's no Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, is insane.
That's
when you think about it.
Yeah.
How about Herbert and Ladd at 9, and no Mahomes and Worthy? Worthy picked above Ladd in the draft, and Mahomes just levels above Justin Herbert as a quarterback.
Fatigue, Damon. That has to be Mahomes fatigue.
It's a good point by EBEG in the chat. He raised it to my attention first.
Well, I'll even say, like, I would take Mahomes and Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Will Levis.
Yes.
Will Levis and his 50% completion. Calvin Ridley, he had the quietest 1,000-yard receiving season.
Will Levis and Calvin Ridley over Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey. Ain't happening. It's not.
I don't love Ladd, but I love Ladd more than Calvin Ridley. I mean, that Tennessee team, it's like those GM rankings that had Ron Carthon ahead of Monty Ossenfort. I think there are 3 teams right now that you can telegraph that are going to be an abysmal watch this year. Carolina again. I just don't think there's any helping that team. I think New Orleans is teetering on like irrelevance pretty soon. And then I'm sorry, Tennessee's like 6 months away from just tearing it down.
Yeah.
Quarterback, receivers, old defense is terrible. Like, Tennessee's one of the easiest teams to hedge. Is fired their only good head coach.
Will Levis is this year's Kenny Pickett. Like, his last
chance. Drew Lock
kind
of guy. Yeah.
Like,
not good. I'd rather like.
Did you say that on air or no? Damon's begging for his dynasty fantasy league.
I have a dynasty league, and I had the misfortune of drafting Kenny Pickett.
Johnny,
like,
this is
worst,
gross.
Yeah, worst nose ball moment ever, and it just haunts me, and I think about it every night before I go to bed. And then I also took Will Levis like pretty late on in the draft. So I just said, I hope not under my breath when Bo said he's the next Kenny Pickett.
You have a type. And your type.
Yeah, shitty quarterbacks.
You need to change it. Yeah, you need to change it.
I do.
Focusing on good players.
The rest of my roster is loaded. My quarterback situation is really, real bad.
I'm going to tell you something right now, and we dog on him. I would rather have Justin Fields than Will Levis. Not even close. Will Levis, who's not the athlete of Justin Fields, like I'd rather just throw Fields out there.
I don't know. I think Levis he can rip it a little bit. I don't know if the same is for.
Hang on. Now I have to pull up Will Levis' stats.
Yeah, I just don't.
Will Levis in the year of our football Lord 2023, where everybody completes 63 to 65%.
I think Will Levis, passing wise, probably bested Justin Fields' best passing game last year already.
58%.
It's completely one of the more uninformed takes ever, but you look it up.
I'm sure you're right because Fields was so bad. I just would rather have Fields. I don't think Will Levis is ever going to be good. I think he's. Let me look at some of these passing games because I think he started off hot. Yeah, so he threw 8 touchdowns and 4 picks. Four of his touchdowns came in the first game against the Atlanta Falcons. From then on, he threw 4 touchdowns to 4 picks for the rest of the season. His passer rating in his last game played was 42. He was sacked 28 times in half a season. He went 3-6 as a result last year. And let me look at completion percentage by game. He ended the year 33% completion in the finale. I mean, he would have games where he wouldn't complete 50% of his throws.
So you got Will Levis. He had a 327-yard passing game. Justin Fields' career high is 335 and he also had a 4 touchdown game. And so Justin Fields has had 2 of those.
Yeah, but one of the guys like a true pocket passer, and Fields' mobility's mixed in there. Listen, it's not by any means my first choice, but I think I would just rather have Fields than Will. I think we know exactly what Will Levis is, whereas Fields, I just keep going back to that season Fields had 2 years ago when he was just basically a running back playing QB, and it was awesome. I don't think Will Levis will ever come close to being that relevant, but we'll see. Thankfully, Kyler Murray's a real quarterback, and he's top 2 on this list. Stroud, I think Stroud is a bona fide top 6, 7 quarterback by midseason. But again, I don't go by QB versus QB in the league. I go by QB in the conference. I look at that list and I'm like, Kyler, number 1 new connection in the NFC. That's how I look at that list. I judge Kyler Murray on a curve against the NFC QBs, and I like what I'm seeing in the NFC. Turd Purdy, get out of here. Brock Purdy, Dak old in a contract year. No, thank you. Jalen Hurts with, Sirianni and Dom, pass. Stafford, aging, old. This is going to turn into Kyler Murray's conference. You watch Kyler Murray's conference to be had.